Oh, happy Friday, all. How's everything going? I just redid all my audio, so if this is a little off, please let me know in the chat because, yeah. I got this new mixer. It's like a Beacon Create mix or something, so I could see everything, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I kind of dig it. But at the same time, I'm like, oh boy, I can hear myself a little too much in my audio monitor. Sounds good. Sweet. I got a fun stream today. This one's going to be going over a tool. I'm probably going to be making a little bit less videos as I develop this tool, mainly because I originally, back when I was in college, which would have been 20 years ago, actually over 20 years ago, it would have been 22 years ago, I did a lot of computer science with C. So I did a lot with C back then, but I've lost almost all of that. I understand top-down programming and some other, object-oriented type stuff. So I get the general gist of it, and I was fairly talented back then. But I've looked at my tool that everyone's been using, and I gotta say, it's awful. Like, from an aesthetic point of view, from actual coding point of view, the reason why I did it that way with WinForms, like the old tool that most people know today, I'm a bit ashamed of it, mainly because it's ugly and it could be so much better. But the reason why I did it that way was just so it could be all open source and run directly from the web. Now, I've looked into a lot of different ways, and I can do that exact same thing, but also create a much better tool. And I was like, I just need to learn some new languages. Big ones I picked up on already is like WPF, switching from WinForms to WPF for a lot of the GUI stuff, which will be good. And then also I wanted to look at switching to and learning C# a lot too. So I don't know anything about C# other than it's like C, and that's about it. So I'm going to be learning a lot more of that. So each day I spend at least a couple hours just kind of, scratching and working out that muscle I haven't worked out in over 2 decades. And it is just fun. But today I want to show you the progress of the tool, the new tool, how it works, some limitations by using PowerShell instead of a direct executable, which direct executable we can do a lot of stuff with, and how it injects. I'll explain some of the limitations of how I do it, and kind of what the future looks like there. So yeah, so it should be fun. Catch up with chat. I see Don in chat. Charles, how's it going? Yeah, all that. So it should be fun, yeah. Back when I say fairly talented, Charles, I was more of I was on you compete back then, and I could finish most of the coursework for the entire year in about a couple weeks. So I it's there. The talent is there. I just it's just not when you don't use something for 20 years, you just lose it. And it's more of just getting back in the swing of things and programming again, which I do love. It's something that is I'm very passionate about. I didn't realize how much I really enjoy actually coding, and until I got back into it, I was like, oh man, I miss this. This is so much better than what I've done with like infrastructure work and other stuff. So anyways, let's enough talk. Let's get into it. So, oh, that's not what I want. Yeah, let's get over here. That's a little better. Okay, so this is kind of the tool as I do it. This is kind of what we got. Now, this is set up to be much scaling automatically. I use like a viewport type thing, so you could actually be on like a super tiny 640, or you could go like full screen with it too. And let's say you're blind, you could blow it up, and it's gonna adjust. Now, that's gonna affect some things, like you can see the borders here, that you can do it. And if you do like this way, you're going to get top and bottom borders. But I'm going to sacrifice the GUI standpoint on the scaling, unless I can find a better way to do this in WPF, just because it's more about the practical use case of this tool and how fast it will do things. So the other thing is, instead of clicking each button, now you'll just go, you know what, I need to install these 3 things, and click go. And I think I'm running this off of here, but I'm going to relaunch this tool using just PowerShell just to kind of show you what it would go like whenever this project gets published. So you kind of understand. Let's go GitHub. And I think this one's just going to be called WinTool. WinUtil, actually. And, there we go. Okay, so let's say we go into install these three things. There's a couple limitations by doing it this way. Disregard some of the output. I haven't, as I debug stuff, so the PowerShell is going to be a little bit verbose as we go through this, just because as I learned WPF and how objects and some of the things go through, I was making sure it's real verbose so I can adjust things in the GUI. But since it's running through PowerShell, PowerShell will take precedent. It's basically the parent that's launching everything. And if you do something in the GUI to send it back to PowerShell, it's basically going to lock the GUI up until whatever's finished in the background. That's one of the limitations of doing it this way. If I coded a full-blown executable on the front end and embedded PowerShell, it would not be like that. So that's one of the limitations of doing it this way. I'm going to leave it this way. I might design something to do it through the executable way, but I want to leave this open source because I want people to take this project and expand on it as well. And we'll get into how I made this and kind of like the steps and process I go through. Everything here is free tools for the most part. I am looking at using, I think, Iron Man software, like PowerShell Pro for some design work after I finish the way I do it here, which is completely free and open. So let's hit start install, and you'll see in the background here, see the GUI kind of locks up because it's interfacing with the PowerShell. It'll go through and install, 7-zip, the advanced IP scanner, auto hotkey. If I had checked everything, it would just go through one line by line. But once it's finished, the check marks will actually disappear here. I don't know where Hikari and Sparky are. Sparky's Australian, so I think he's sleeping right now. But his sleep schedule's a little bit messed up. I haven't seen Hikari in a bit now. So there we go. So that's finished. It installed those three programs, and then once it was finished, it unchecked it. Now, the other thing I was looking at was doing this design. Now, I've already designed the GUI, but I have not designed this to do anything. So, like, these buttons don't really do anything, and this whole thing is not designed. So let's jump on the actual terminal, get into the back end of this and how it's designed, and I'll show you kind of how I'm going to do it this time around. This whole section, Essential Tweaks, used to be just one button in the old tool. It did all these things and then some more. As I went through the old tool, I was looking through, and I accepted a couple pull requests that I kind of regret accepting, and it mucked things up. So on this one, I will leave this open source, but I'm going to be extremely strict on how I accept pull requests. So if someone doesn't document things, even if the code's good, I'm going to deny the pull request, as I want this to be extremely streamlined and very, very clear when you read the code. So if you want to learn this type of stuff, you can take this script and learn the different things because of the documentation behind it and how it's structured. So let's actually get into it. Now that you understand kind of what we're dealing with and a lot of the scaling and different things that we've run into, that's the advantages of doing it this way. But that was the high level. Let's start digging down now. First off, how am I designing the GUI? A lot of times I just use Visual Studio Community Edition. This is free. You can download it directly from Microsoft. This is one thing Microsoft does extremely well. I gotta say, these tools are very well done. I can't say enough good things. The fact I was able to take this within a couple days and be able to design this, coming from not knowing anything about WPF, speaks more loads to the actual tool itself. I was very impressed with how easy this was to pick up and learn, and a lot of the autocomplete as I was going through and doing it. So instead of like dragging and dropping like the toolbox and other weird stuff, like I looked at the toolbox just kind of get an idea of what's there. But instead of like trying to do this through a GUI, which is just awful, I love this real-time updating preview and then learning to actually code and the different options you could do with each button as you do it. And that's like the cool thing about it. Like, this is a grid light system, and I could make this a little bit more stringent if I didn't have that auto scaling type thing, which is at the front here, which is just viewbox. Viewbox takes anything within this box and expands it and contracts it and scales it to whatever you're on. So if you're on a 4K monitor with like 250% scaling, this is going to look great. If you're on a freshly installed computer with no graphics and it's at 800 by 600, this is going to look great. It doesn't matter. So that's the beauty of doing it through a viewbox, but it's very hard because you'll see like this is the borders on the side, and I could look into maybe locking the aspect ratio, but you can see when I go space, I'm like, hey, what are my options here? I can flip through and go, wow, okay, there's a lot of different things. So what I've been doing to learn is I've just kind of looked through each one of these and like, hey, is there anything like maybe restrict ratio or something like that? And usually when I get in here and I'm like, oh, well, that's a different trigger. I wonder what that does. I click it, enable it, and then I run the command again just to see what each one of these does. So that's kind of how I'm learning on the fly with WPF. I like to learn more from doing it than trying to read or do like a Skillshare course. Now, I think in C#, since I'm so rusty with that, I am doing more of a traditional course in that regard, but I'm getting there. But I don't see anything for like locking a ratio down. If anybody actually codes in WPF, let me know. But I have found WPF be a little bit more obscure in there. But so anyways, getting past this, let's just fix that. Then you have the viewboard. That's the only thing Viewbox does, is the scaling, basically. And then we have the grid layout, and this is just kind of the grid that we're looking at here. This grid defines two columns. This is one column. This is the secondary column. It's doing a 30-70 split. You can see the 3 asterisk, 7 asterisk. It's saying, hey, instead of doing a specific pixel count, it's saying 30% here, 70% here. Pretty basic stuff. And then I do a stack panel, so everything that comes in here, this vertical stack panel, which you can actually see, yeah, stack panel by default does vertical, but you could do a horizon or horizontal orientation with stack panel, so it goes to the right, left to right, which I haven't done. I know, Michael, I do need a secondary internet. I had one for a while there. I thought about getting Starlink just to have like ridiculous redundancy, but then I was like, nah, I'd probably just get cable again. Although the cable here is awful. It has so much jitter in the line. That's why I switched to fiber, or it's AT&T, so it's like not really true fiber, I don't think. I think it still uses copper in certain spots, and it's not exactly fast. But yeah, well, residential internet. What are you gonna do? But I do need a secondary line for sure. So anyways, we got that, and that's stack panels, and then tab controls. The other thing here is as we move between install, tweaks, config, and updates, this is all tabbed. The old one, when we launched the old one, which I will do real fast, let's just type dbloat Windows. Yeah, let's come to my website. We'll grab this. Let's launch this. This is awful. There's no tab controls. It's locked. If you go full screen, you can see it doesn't really adjust anything. And, and I hate this design. It's like, oh, it's so ugly. And like the status is janky. It's just, the whole thing is, ugh. I'm ashamed of this and how it's laid out. It's just kind of haphazard in the design elements. And a lot of this I'm kind of want to streamline so anybody could use it and have a little bit better thought process put into it. But I am breaking out this essential tweaks button into its own individual thing with certain highlights. Let's start with that, because this is the one button that most people use the most. However, I've been looking through issues for feedback, like as you know, people are like, oh, well, this worked great on my computer, but I've also had some people like, hey, this tool's awful. It messed up my laptop, or my system didn't run right after this. And there's certain configurations where that essential tweaks might do that, or it might not be the best thing for that specific system. I tried to make it as universal as possible, but sometimes people are like, well, now my game DVR doesn't work through the Xbox game bar, which, I mean, I could just be an elitist jerk and be like, you shouldn't be using the game bar because it's awful. But I know some people do like Microsoft and Xbox stuff, and I wanted to make it a little bit more versatile to where those people can just be like, yeah, I need my game DVR, or I need Xbox, and be able to do it, but also have that recommended setting to where you could just click that and see everything that gets adjusted. So let's drill down into essential tweaks right now and really focus on making it perfect for everyone. And that's the big thing that I wanted to do, because this one size fits all kind of approach kind of works pretty well. But again, there's those obscure cases where you might not, I think Essential Tweaks does some power throttling or disables power throttling. So on laptops, if you run Essential Tweaks, it's going to burn through more battery than if you didn't, which we should be able to leave an option for disabling power throttling, because there's other aspects of Windows that people don't understand, and we're going to go line by line and kind of see that. So let's get into that. I just kind of wanted to give a little backstory there. So first off, how am I doing the GUI? I basically just take all of this, copy, come into here, and then I have a string that takes all the XAML file from Visual Studio, the actual design element of Visual Studio, and then I just paste that in. So that's it. This basically reads the XAML, formats it for PowerShell. So I'm not going to change anything in here. This is somebody else's code that kind of showed me how to do it. And then we do some verbose stuff with it to where it's spitting out every element from WPF, and then we can interact with it right here. So this is the navigation controls, and we can interact with that GUI through PowerShell and say, hey, if this is on, turn this off, or those types of things. So that's what this is. And you can also see it kind of in the terminal here. Those are all my objects. This is the install person. So tab 1 is finished completely, but this is kind of what we're doing. Hey, if this is equals checked, go ahead and install it. After it installs, uncheck the box. That's going to tell the user at the end, hey, it's done installing. But you also see it in the PowerShell on the back end. You still should be looking at what the script does, and you should still see the PowerShell output. But I wanted to make it really simple to kind of go, okay, this is done. And that's basically all this section does. Now let's get into the next section, which, if we look, let's go ahead and launch our WinUtil again. So this section's finished. Let's go into our tweaks, essential tweaks, which we just talked about. This section is what we want to do. So when we click this Run Essential Tweaks button, which we'll look at the name of the button, we want to go through and do if statements for each checkbox and say, hey, if this is enabled, run this PowerShell command, and it will do that. We also want to make these buttons operational at the top, which, here, let me blow this up a little bit. Let's fix that. Blow that up a little bit. So we want to make these buttons up at the top. When you click this, it'll do all the desktop tweaks, which will disable power throttling, enable numlock on startup, because most people want your 10 key to work. But when you click laptop, it won't. It will enable power throttling, because you always want your power to throttle on a laptop, and you also want to enable, or actually disable, numlock on startup, because There's a lot of laptops that don't have a 10 key. So that would be like an example of that. Essential tweaks, typically I do everything on this side except for maybe remove Microsoft Store apps. If, let's say, you use WSL with Ubuntu, you probably don't want to do this. So you probably wouldn't want to check this. Or if you use a lot of Windows Store games, that would be also another one where you wouldn't want to check this. Yeah, a full-blown desktop WPF app, I'm definitely looking into and doing just a full-blown executable. I could distribute that as well, which I probably will do, but I'll do it to kind of fund development. I like this approach. I'm going to do both approaches is basically what I'm going to say. I like this approach because it makes the app on the fly. There's no compiling, and anyone can use it on any system, anywhere. I'm going to continue making like the executable type thing and just distribute it through my website, but it's going to mirror that PowerShell script, and I'll use that and I'll sell that to fund development for this in the future, which I have done in the past for my other script. But that executable on the other script, I was just doing like a PS1 to EXE, which is awful because it false flags things as a virus, and how it interacts is not proper. So this next one, that's why I'm learning the C# is to do the executable. But I want to leave everything open source on the front end for the PowerShell script, so this will always be completely open with no compiling. But I will have another section in the future for that will be the exact same as I add stuff to it. The config section 2, I wanted to make old Windows panels because how I use Windows, oops, sorry, not that, but how I use Windows, like let's say I want it's such a better way of doing it, and I wanted to kind of share how I use Windows, because trying to use the settings menu is just awful. But let's say I wanted to like pull up the old system command panel from Windows 7, which is, you can't even pull it up anymore unless you type in this command. This is actually a very useful control panel that you can't get to by traditional means anymore. You can change and add it to a domain or work group, so that's really good for IT professionals. You can change how it installs. Do you want it to install stuff from the manufacturer, or do you want to install the drivers yourself? I personally recommend install it yourself. You could go into here and change a lot of the virtual memory or the actual visual effects, all this type of stuff. You can come in here, change your paging file. This gives us so much more options than that you no longer can do in Windows 11 if you just use the GUI. Like, that's the problem with the GUI in Windows 11 is a lot of these features you're locked out unless you know these commands on the back end. So I wanted to make this old Windows panels type deal and then kind of show people these different shortcuts. You could use this tool to do those shortcuts, or I'll probably put the little command of what it is, the actual CPL, or we could actually go into MMC, which I haven't. I keep pressing that. I'm in Windows and I'm kind of like, yeah. Let's say you just do MMC, kind of teaching people the different snap-ins here where you can access and change anything in Windows. We can do a lot of different things. And then probably for another panel I'll do in the future is making a complete HUD where it'll just show anything you want in the system. Networking configurations. I may add like teaming and other things that is just kind of locked out of Windows. So that's another idea. But getting back to the essential tweaks, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little sidetracked. Let's start creating that. We're gonna create that button. Click. Let's do the select all first for our button. Let's see what we got. Let's run this. Let's make this desktop button. Select all this. Disable power throttling. And also enable numlock on startup. Those are the default options for desktop. Let's get that going. Oh yeah, let's see. Thanks a lot for the reminder there, Michael. All right, ideas. Let's see. Man, come on. Got a different setup here, and it's been kind of messing with me a little bit. All right, ideas. The super chat. Let's come on. Ah, Sam, here we go. All right, tag options, create search bar, search gaming for tweaks regarding gaming, hover options, get descriptions. Yes, all that's totally viable in this one, Sam. We can add that with the context. So we should probably add some context menus to do exactly that, Sam. That's a good feedback. The search bar is going to be a little interesting on how we implement that. I don't think that's going to be today's video because I'm just not sure. I can't think of a way to do that right off the top of my head that would be real intuitive, not from a technical perspective, but more from a usability or UI design perspective, because searching for gaming might be a little tricky. Like, how do I just pull up the Xbox tweaks and adjust that? Maybe I could create a new tab and just call it search and then do a full filter for every gaming option. A lot of different ways. I need to kind of workshop that one a little bit. But as far as getting the descriptions and being a little bit better with our context menus, that is totally doable. So yeah, good idea, Sam. Let's take a peek at that. Hey, greetings and salutations. Oh man, I haven't watched a Joe Collins video in a minute. Is Joe still making videos? I love Joe. He was great. Because I know he burned out a little bit because of the rigors of just public life on YouTube. I know it cannot be fun sometimes. Oh, let's see. All right, what is that button? Let's do the desktop button first. That entire thing, what is that object called? Let's come into our tweaks menu. All right, that's the first one, tweaks menu. It's just called desktop. So usually it appends it and spits out a new object. So I bet it's like WPF desktop. There it is, WPF desktop. So we'll make a WPF desktop. Actually, let's come back here, add that, and put WPF desktop dot add. I think it's click. Add click. Yeah. And then usually open bracket, curly bracket, and then we should be able to start designing what this is going to do. We need to look at that. Pretty much all these essential tweaks in here we're going to grab, which is disable activity. I labeled these names so I could easily just kind of grab them like that. And what we're going to do now is paste that in. Cool. So we'll come to the beginning of this line and we'll hold Alt. And also, if I'm doing something wrong, guys, just let me know. Because I've been coding in this for like an entire day. So, well, this will be actually my 4th day of WPF programming. So I might be doing stuff completely wrong as I don't have any formal training and I did not watch how anybody else uses WPF. So this is just me winging it, so to speak. Let's see here. And we're just getting rid of the excess from this copy paste. Kind of shows me what all is checked is what we're going to look for. So now we have this. Huh? Come back to, oh. And I think I'm trying to hold Alt. Maybe it's Control. Nope. If I had Vim, it would work. Yeah. What is the command to put your cursor all the way down in Visual Studio Code? Yeah. Come on. You gonna do it? If I do, no, it's gonna just do that. Huh. Joe Collins is a Linux character. Don't be so hard on Joe. People crack sometimes when you get so much feedback from YouTube. So I get it. Don't be so hard on Joe. All right, let's just add these objects. Oh, there's a better way of doing this. I feel like I know Notepad++, the alt would work. Why isn't that working though? It's driving me crazy. Oh well, we'll add this and oh. This is just painful. All right, and we're going to interact with these objects directly. Is checked. And we're going to equal true. So what this does is it interacts directly with this WFPF object. This is a checkbox for these essential tweaks. And we want to say, hey, if you click this desktop button, we want to automatically check everything for you. So instead of going through and be like, yes, I want this, because people aren't going to know, hey, what's the deal? They just want the recommended settings. But I also want the power user that does know to be able to use the script and go, well, I need this, and then uncheck the thing that they don't want the script to do. So you'll have the accessibility for the basic user, but you'll also have the versatility for the advanced user, so anybody can use it. So we'll grab that. That's the thought process here, and we'll just grab that, put it into each one of these. Blah. All right, and let's fix that indent. All right, that looks pretty good. I think this click button is done, except for we also needed to add, I think it was under tweaks. We want the power throttling, disable power throttling right here. Grab it. Oh. Yeah. I got it. And then what was the other one? I think the other one was numlock. So let's grab numlock as well, and we'll paste that over here. Make that true, and then we'll test out our new button. Okay, pretty decent, right? So let's pull that up. So right now the desktop button doesn't do anything. We'll just relaunch our script. And I need to adjust the settings there. But anyways, so now when we click desktop, boom. So that's the recommended selections. Recommended selections also is using dark text. We need to probably change the font on that to be light text. Or put a backdrop in there. Maybe we just do one of these borders. I feel like this is a little bit too big. I think a regular border for uniformity. Let's fix that now. So we'll have a little border that we want to add there. Where's our horizontal? So the stack panel we're using right here, let's just add a little background to it. I think we can just grab this, put it in there. That's pretty good. Maybe we add a little margin, or maybe we don't. I kind of like it docked on the top. I think we're gonna leave it. Let's leave it like that, because I don't want to use up too much space. I know aesthetically not the most pleasing thing in the world, but I do feel it gives a bit more clarity. Also, the buttons themselves feel a little bit too big. Maybe What is that? Yeah, let's give a little more margin. Make them a little bit better. It does kind of push the width out. Yeah. Ish. Let's meet in the middle. Let's just do a 7. We'll just do that. Yeah. We'll split the difference. Now we have that. Desktop's working. Perfect. So now we kind of got that aspect. We'll do laptop and minimal. Probably pull those buttons in, and then we'll work on actually making the run essential tweaks work and adding all the code to do these tweaks. Don't use margin, it'll break with scale. Okay. I'll release this when it's ready, but probably next week. I'm gonna probably make a video kind of overviewing some of this stuff, and then release of next week is kind of what I'm shooting for. So we're looking at WPF. I think laptop is the next one. This is going to be a lot easier. So we're just going to take these. Put that in. Yeah, Debian unstable is definitely safe to use. Honestly, I use SID when I use Debian. So probably not the guy to ask. So num lap power. Essential tweaks. Lap power. And we're just changing this for laptop. So there's that one. And then next up is going to be minimal. We'll just take our minimal, create that button. And for minimal tweaks, we're gonna change this up just a hair. We're not gonna do any miscellaneous tweaks. We're gonna not do Wi-Fi sense, storage sense. Some people use storage sense. I don't think you should, but you know, to each his own. What are the other tweaks here? Game DVR probably needs to be there as well. So DVR. Activity history is probably another one I hear a lot of people want to leave activity history. And location tracking as well. Some people like to use maps for location tracking. And hibernation. Where's the hibernation in here? Essential tweaks? Oh, it's under Hiber. Some people use hibernation. The rest of this, I feel like you kind of want to do that. Services, you probably want to. That's a good one. MS Store apps is probably another one where folks don't want to mess with that. Debloat. So this is going to be the minimal check. Save. All right. So all our buttons at the top should now work. So these don't work right now, but they're about to. Ooh. Another debug I just thought of. I'll show you what this is going to do that is not right. Let's relaunch. Tweaks. Oh, let's just go full screen. Who cares? Super old man mode. So desktop, laptop. See what happened? It didn't disable these other checkboxes. And then minimal. So that's just basically checking things, but it's not unchecking them. And we also have an extra checkbox down here. So we might expand that a little bit as we go through. So let's fix that. Extra checkboxes to make sure we have all of that in. So the proper way to do this would have been, let's take this. So I messed this up. I'll show you here in a second. And then lap number. Let's add that in. Ah. Nope. All right. And then we just add false to this. This is the proper way to do it. So minimal tweaks power. Nope. Wi-Fi false, so people can do Wi-Fi sense. Telemetry, you're going to want storage sense, some people want. Tweak services, RP, O&O, location services, people usually want for minimal. Home group, everyone. Nobody should be using the home group. It's awful. Disabling hibernation, some people want. And then game DVR and debloat. Okay. And activity. So that fixes that. And then for this one, let's do false for the power. And then laptop down here. So this should make it easily. Anything toggleable will turn off when we're clicking those buttons now. Oh, good catch. So let's relaunch. All right. So now we have desktop tweaks. This is what it should do. Laptop tweaks switches this. Minimal just does these bare settings, which pretty much everyone shouldn't want telemetry. Everyone should want a little more privacy with Windows. Everyone should never use home group. I mean, and if you want to disable it, you just click it. You know, for those 2% of people out there, no, not even 2%. For those 0.001% of poor saps using home groups, they could actually just uncheck that. And then services to manual. And then the rest of this just kind of gets left on. Is there's instances where people do use storage sends. There's instances where you do want hibernation. I guess some laptop users might use hibernation. And now that I'm saying that out loud, I might change the laptop to also do hibernation. I think unchecking that would probably be wise for laptop users. So let's go laptop hibernation. All right, perfect. So now we got to code each one of these functions to do whatever's selected. So now you've done your selections, and now we need to get in the meat and potatoes, which is this run essential tweaks button. That's going to run all this. Now that I'm looking at this, having separate buttons, that's a dumb design. Yeah, that's a terrible design decision. Let's fix that. Bring me to, yeah, this. We don't need a button. That's just awful. miscellaneous tweaks. Let's just call it tweaks button. Run tweaks. Let's give that like a margin of 20. I think that's good. I feel like these buttons should be closer together. That's a little too much space. Oh, let's do like 0. Maybe 20. Ah. There we go. Better. All right, cool. Maybe a little more margin there. Let's give it a 5. Yeah. So this should make it pretty seamless. We'll take our GUI again. I've been meaning to buy a tool from Iron Man software that kind of combines this stat up, but for today's live stream, we're just using all free tools that anybody can download. But there's better ways of doing this. Just know that, again, this is my first week, so it's not gonna be the best. I'm gonna look back on this code and be like, oh, you noob. But yeah. All right, let's fix our settings here. Oh, I like the way that looks. Much better. So run tweaks, undo all, desktop, laptop, minimal. It's exactly what I want. I like that design. So now we've done that, we can get into grabbing the old script. We're actually going to go to the old script now, but we're going to change so much because this is not how the old script works at all. So now we have our buttons. And what do we call that button again? Oh, you know what? Instead of running it from here, let's just run it from here. Close it. Tweaks button. There it is. And this is going to be an add click. And then once we have that click, we need to start doing and checking to see what these are. So we'll grab the full. This will work. We don't have to grab all this, but we'll grab all of that. Perfect. And then we're going to add if statements for all of this. I want to do this in bulk. What's the best way to approach this? I think we can do replace, grab. You can just grab this WPF. So I'm going to code in a replace. I don't recommend doing this, but I kind of want to do like an if. And I still am not great with my if formatting. Something like that. So we're going to want to emulate if space, open bracket, WPF. And we're going to start right here. And we'll just replace. Ah, I did it on the wrong one. Oops. Oopsies. That's not what I meant to do. Okay. Tweaks button. Come on, start here. Ah, all right. Down. All right, good enough. Yeah. There we go. And then most of this is going to be true. Let's just call this true. True. And what we're going to do with this guy, copy it. And then we're going to change this to -EQ equals true. And then we need a space. What else we got? How's that look? EQ equals true space. Open bracket. And then this should kind of shortcut this whole deal. So let's come up here. Bam. Now we change all of that. All right, beautiful. Oops. True. All right, now all that looks pretty good. So this is going to be our if statement. It says, hey, if this toggle equals true, open bracket, and then we can execute our PowerShell code. And you can see like the little red squiggly here. Can I blow this up a little more? I thought, Ah, yeah, there we go. Just so folks can see what I'm doing. So anytime you see that, it means we got a code error, which there's just no closing bracket, which is totally fine. Oh, thanks for the super chat there, Based. Jory, your work on Linux definitely ignited England around. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking for some new stuff that's happening in the Linux side of things. I've been tinkering around a bunch in Linux as well, man. I love it's just a fun environment to mess around in. That's the thing I love most about Linux is just sky's the limit. You can change anything and everything. That's what I love the most about it. Playing around, there's just no equal. Although I know this sounds like blasphemy, but I have been playing around a lot in Mac OS lately. And man, I really like the consistency behind it now. I'm starting to kind of come around on the Mac OS to where I'm not hating on it like I used to. All right, all right, so now we have action history. Let's come to our old script and we're going to find activity. Bam. So this is our activity history right here. So we're going to just copy this. You can see we're going to be breaking up our old code. All right, that if statement's done. So this is disabling activity history. Next up is going to be the debloat, which if we look at that, let's see. All right, I can't do that. Let's like that's too much zoom, too much old man. All right, here we go. Oh, this is all wrong. Ugh. All right. Anyways, continuing. This is services. Where is the debloat? I think I put it further down. Background apps. All right, here we go. Bloatware. Okay. I don't know if we're defining bloat in another part of the application. Let's take a look. Bloat. Where do we have that? Is that defined anywhere else? I don't see it anywhere else. I think it's just here. I think we'll be fine. Bloat's getting defined through this for each. So I think we can just grab that, push that in. All right. We're going to change this up a bit. All right, bloatware. Fine. Okay, that should be pretty good. So we're going to remove all these applications for Microsoft Store. Anything in here, I'm just going to peruse it while we're here. Your phone. A lot of people like your phone. Let's comment that out. I hate it, but whatever. There's the Xbox stuff. Oh, and I need to add an Xbox or Office removal as well. I was installing a system the other day. No. I was looking at another computer and I was cleaning up, and it was a new install, but it had like 30 or 40 different Microsoft tools. Like if you look at like AppWiz, it had literally like 20 or 30 Microsoft Office installs from different languages and different localizations, and I'm like, Microsoft, dude, what? No. And instead of going through one by one, I created a script to just rip them all out. And I wanted to add that script in here to remove all Microsoft Office products. Not as a essential tweaks or anything, but just as an option for the future. So that should give us pretty much everything. We got, what's this red? Is that gonna, it may not like that, maybe. No, it should be fine. I think that's a, oh yeah. No, we're fine. Let's keep moving. So that's our bloatware removal. And then game DVR, this is gonna be a smaller one. It's in our essential tweaks up here, I think. Where is that? I want to say it was about right in here. Yeah. So this is a bad, I don't want to say it's a bad pull request because I like what this person was thinking. It's just how they put it in, and it was just so haphazardly thrown into the old debloat that it should have been its own thing instead of just making these modifications. I really want to separate out these lines so people know exactly what's happening, and then if they need to go back in and troubleshoot, they can. And yeah, that's the big thing here. It's the purpose of making this all modular. All right, bam, game DVR, done. Hibernation, this should be a pretty easy one too. So that's going to be E hibernation. All right, let's go down a little bit. Oh, yeah. Let's just take out that. Let's go back up. So this is another bad pull request. Good night. What a mess this old script is. Again, open source can be good, but when you have someone like... I was just a little too lenient on accepting some of these pull requests. This new one, I'm on the new script, I am going to be very, very stringent. Famous last words, but all right, we're going to disable hibernation here. Essential tweaks home group. So this is going to be home group now. Home group. It says there's 10 of these. Where's the next one? Ah, okay. This is setting it in manual. You know what? We're just going to do manual, no disabled. I doubt anybody will ever need it, but in case they do, it's not going to really mess with anything. It's not even going to need a toggle is really the big question. I guess I'll leave it. Blackboard. Eventually, Chris will just make a script that formats Windows and installs things. Yeah, probably. I can see myself do that, Michael. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. Created a repo issue, too big for super chat. Okay. I'll definitely check it out. I will archive the old script once this is all published. Because the old script is just clunky and awful. I hate my old script. Like, with a passion. Ugh. But I know. It just shows how many people needed something like that. The fact it's as awful as it is and so many people use it just tells you how much folks needed something. But we're gonna do a better job on this one for sure. All right, let's find location services. What do we got? Location services. No. Let's just find it manually, I guess. It's gonna be in here. You know what? Let's just go by this line by line. Let's grab... Oh, no, shut up first. Instead of doing it in sequential order, this is going to be faster if I just do it like this. Oh, no, is going to be the next one. This is actually working really well still. Surprisingly. I'm surprised this works as well as it does. Let's come to down here. Telemetry is the next one. Boom. All this is going to be the telemetry. It's going to be under the tele object. Oops. All right, moving on. Then we got Wi-Fi sense. This reports Wi-Fi location. It's probably one of the scariest things that nobody ever talks about on the web. So any of your phones, computers use something called Wi-Fi sense, where it reports location to a central entity, Microsoft in this case, but your phones are much more egregious with this. The Microsoft one's not as bad, but your phones basically report all the Wi-Fi things as you walk around. So let's say I was like part of the NSA, which I'm sure they have. these tools to track anybody that they want, and they can just tap in and kind of look at what Wi-Fi things you're walking through, and there's Wi-Fi everywhere, and your phone picks up the Wi-Fi even though you're not connecting to Wi-Fi. It picks up and says, hey, this SSID near, pick up my neighbor's SSID, and then report back. Now obviously my computer doesn't have a Wi-Fi, so I don't really care. It doesn't matter if it's enabled or disabled. But that's the gist of Wi-Fi Sense, and kind of what it's doing is reporting your geolocation wherever you're going. Your phones do this all the time. So you can easily track a person just by this Wi-Fi type deal. Even if you ripped out the SIM card in your phone, this would still report as long as you had internet access on that specific device. That's why phones are probably the scariest technology in existence for privacy. A lot of people harp on OS privacy, but honestly, if you're using an Android or Apple phone, it doesn't matter. I mean, your privacy's shot. They know where you're at anyways. That's why I'm like, it's not that big a deal. Everyone uses Android or Apple anyways. All right, so telemetry is done. Moving to the next. Oh, application suggestions. Oh, this is an awful one. App suggestions, we're going to put in telemetry. It's just something that should be... There's just no reason not to do this. Drives me crazy. Yeah, that should work. And we got our activity history right here. Activity history, that's going to be AH. Did we already do that one? I think we already did that one, didn't we? Yeah. We already did that one. Location tracking. So there's Wi-Fi Sense and location tracking. I probably should just combine the two, because I don't know. Let's do map updates. Copy. I guess I could leave it off. I'll think about it. I'm bouncing back and forth in my mind on that. All right, location tracking's done. Moving on. Feedback. Feedback's more telemetry and data collection, so let's do that. Same with tailored services and advertising IT. That's kind of all there. Disable error reporting, and nobody wants to do PDP. You don't want to be a node for somebody else's updates. So these are all going to be jammed into telemetry. Yeah. Actually, we're going to just keep going here. We'll add all this. Telemetry is going to be like the catch-all. Everything should always be run on every single system in the telemetry, where it won't... Like, there's no reason for these things to even exist. Microsoft. Blech. Why? Why are these even in existence? Like, this should just be there by default. All right, disabling feedback. All that looks good. Yeah. There we go. What viable alternatives are there? There's not. That's the thing. And there's Android or Apple. Now, I still have a Pine phone. Oh, where is that? Ah. So I went and spent $400. I never made a video about this. Just because, you know. So, I didn't realize I still had that up on the screen. Let's clear that out. So this is my Pine Phone Pro. This is a Linux-based phone. It's not ready. Don't buy this. It is so bad. Right now. I'm really hoping the phone, the hardware itself's good, but the actual software, the Linux software that runs this phone is just hot garbage. Which, it's getting there, though. It's still being developed, and I think it just needs another couple years. I'm going to keep trying at it, but I just didn't make a video because it was just not worth it. Like, I didn't want anybody to go buy that. It's, you know, hopefully the software catches up. As soon as it becomes usable, like, I could use text messages, I could call, I could do basic stuff, but the phone was dying in, like, 4 or 5 hours, and I missed a couple text messages. I got some text messages, but others didn't come through. I mean, it was a hot mess. I tried it for I daily drove it for 24 hours, and then after 24 hours, I was like, no. Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to show that because, ugh. Yeah, this is both Windows 10 and 11. So there's not much difference between 10 and 11 from a foundation standpoint. All right, moving on. We already did home groups. Oh man, remote assistance. This is how bad remote assistance is. Like, it's just something Microsoft hadn't removed. But if you actually call like tier 2 support or tier 3 support at Microsoft and they needed a remote in, like I had a server issue and I needed to talk with someone at Microsoft about it. So it was someone here locally. It wasn't like, you know, the tier 1 over in India. It was tier 2 at like Redmond. It might even been local here to DFW because I know they have a support center. But anyways, they don't use remote assistance. If that tells you anything, Microsoft itself doesn't use remote assistance. Like, what? Like, why is it still there, Microsoft? If you're not even going to use it, no one else is going to use it. It's just a vulnerability waiting to happen. Just disable and delete it. That's the thing about Windows is they just leave like random crap in here, like where they try to do something and it was just bad, and then they didn't go back and clean up their mess. So anyways, yeah, remote assistance. Not even Microsoft uses it. That's how bad it is. It just shouldn't exist. Thanks for the super chat, Joel. Man, I tell you. Anyways, we're going to toss that into telemetry. Remote assistance. Here's my 5-minute rant about remote assistance. Storage sense, I think we already did, didn't we? Yeah. All right. Ah, yeah. Nope, that was Linux. Storage sense. Oh, maybe I already got storage sense. Oh, no, I didn't. All right, that's done. Still got our services tweak. What's RP? What was that? Did that? No. Let's just launch it. Oh, yeah. It's not gonna launch. I have all these. Yeah, let's fix this. 1 second. Thanks so much for the super chats, Joel and Leapy. Oh, yeah. Nah, I mean, it's just all these open if statements. Let me close them out real fast. Oops. I can fix that. How's that? Yeah, there we go. What was RP? I don't remember. Ah, crap. Well, let's just go back to our... I should have just looked at it from here. RP was... Oh, restore point. Okay. Well, probably should label that something better. But I didn't. So the restore point is the next on the list. That's actually the very beginning of this script. Restore points are kind of like, I go back and forth. I don't personally use them. I hate Windows Restore. It doesn't really, or System Restore, it just doesn't really work half the time. But better to have than not have, I suppose. Alrighty, moving on. Did telemetry, activity history, feedback, tailored services. Delivery optimization, that's done, that's done. Superfetch. Oh, Superfetch service is awful. That should always be disabled. Superfetch was like from the era when they, I think it got introduced in Vista, and it was even bad back then, but basically it was like these really old machines that didn't have enough memory to run Windows. Superfetch like basically used the disk as memory to... Yeah, it's just an awful service. Just let's leave it at that. It should just be disabled. It shouldn't even exist. Again, that's like the same thing like with remote assistance. It had an idea. It could have been good, but it was just like bungled by Microsoft to where they should delete it, and they just haven't yet. For some odd reason, they keep leaving it on. I'm like, why? You just hate your users? Probably. So, this flyout menu settings. I don't know if I got this flyout menu when I did the hibernation. I don't think I did. I missed this. Not a big thing, but still. We want to keep this nice and tidy. Yeah, I missed it. Should be right here. Perfect. This is actually a good pull request I got. I know I crapped all over some of them, but this one was really neat. This looks at the current build. If it's greater than, I think 2257, 557 was build like 2004 or 20H1, I think it was. And there was a bug on this one to where if it's greater than, actually no, 22557, I think it's 21H2. Showing the details was like bugged out, and this actually fixes that. And they might have fixed it in a patch too, so might look into that again. Let's give it a little more space. Let's comment it. Task manager details. Now, I thought I did some Wi-Fi sense, didn't I? No, okay, didn't. I think I already passed Wi-Fi sense up here. It's kind of in there with location tracking, to be honest with you. I don't even know if it needs to have its own deal, because you kind of need it for location. Not necessarily, though. Helps with location, though. All right. There's Wi-Fi sense, laptop power. Which build number of Windows 10 with clean install LTSC? I mean, you could use a clean install with any Windows thing. LTSC is probably my preferred Windows version. I'd probably use the 2016 version of LTSC. I don't particularly like 2019. It's when they started kind of meshing some of the GUI components with the old Metro style and the new style of start and settings. So I'd probably go LTSC 2016. And the problem with LTSC is if you need anything from like Microsoft Store, you can't really do that. You have to manually do it through PowerShell. You can still get like the MSI bundles and do it manually in PowerShell, but most users probably don't know how to do that. So LTSC is good. I'd say if you use the Microsoft Store a bunch, don't use LTSC. But if you don't, and you just kind of want a clean version of Windows, LTSC is good. It's just getting licenses for LTSC that can be problematic, and why I don't talk about it very much. All right, app set. Okay. Showing file manager. And then we just got basic functions. I'm going to leave the tray settings out this time. We're not going to do hide and show tray icons because in Windows 11 it's kind of a moot point. And it really didn't matter very much in Windows 10. Most people didn't like it when I did show tray icons anyways. So we're not even going to mess with that. We're going to just remove that whole feature. And come back to here. This is file operations. And then lap power. I think we're getting to laptop tap power real soon. Numlock. Yeah. I don't know if we could do this add type system Windows forms assembly. I think we're going to have to remove that. I think we'll probably end up just using this keyboard hotkey, which is fine. The reason why you don't want numlock on is some laptops you'll lose like the right half of your keyboard, and some people don't know the hotkey to get that back for numlock, or they don't understand what's happening. So that's why we're kind of changing this around a little bit. Let's verify this though. Let's see here. Just to make sure. Set it to 2. So probably 2's enabled, 0's disabled. Let's get one more article just to make sure. Douglas, thanks for the super chat. Yeah, I'm working on an executable. I need to, again, learn C#, which I learned WPF in a couple days. C# probably will take me a week or two, as I'm sure there's some kind of knowledge of C in my in my head somewhere in there. Okay, default value of keyboard indicators is this. If we switch this to 2, it's on. Numlock is 0 is off, 2 is on. Okay, that's what I needed to know. So we are leaving the default value. Why? So this is actually, the old script was bad. It was wrong. I was like, man, that doesn't look right. And I was right. So we will go to here and lap power. So, or lap num actually. This is going to be disabling num lock, and value is going to be 0. And then to enable it, this value should be 2. So that should fix our num lock. And it actually does it properly now. The old script was bad. It's kind of cool going through this. Default to this piece. Oh, please. Nobody should use quick access. It's awful. And hiding 3D objects. Nobody does that either. Let's come back to our telemetry. Add this. Yep. Perfect. Okay. So next is power throttling, which I think we're getting close to. Right here. This is it. Is there any other power throttling in here? This is more of a visual display aspect, memory management, and mouse hover. We'll probably add this to its own deal. But anyways, right here is our power and hibernation. So let's come into utilities. So this one, power throttling is off, Hyper boot enabled, which is fine. And this is miscellaneous tweaks. Now for laptop, we need to do the inverse of that, because you definitely want power throttling on a laptop. So power throttling off equals 0. We want power throttling. Hyper boot enabled is off. We want that on for laptops. All right. Perfect. Disabling. All right. That should be every tweak we've enabled in the system. Let's make sure there's no empty commands in here. Tweak storage. Oh, we're missing one. Essential tweak service. Oh, we need the services. Let's see. Let's come back to this. Performance, display, and memory. Just make sure we come back and put this in there somewhere. I just don't know where to put it yet. Because these are all memory tweaks. I might actually just put this in. I hate to put so much in telemetry, but man, a lot of it is kind of classified as that. All right, let's take a peek. Let's see how this does. Yeah, we're getting close to everyone. Let's expand our telemetry here just a bit more. Task manager, file operations, file view. I think we need to add a line. Let's just call this performance tweaks and more telemetry. should be fine. I feel like that should be it. Oops. I have our driver searching off, system responsiveness, network throttling. It's fine. Control, wait to kill service. This slows the, sometimes the service timeouts are like 10 seconds. I think this switch reduces to like 2 seconds. Show menu display, auto end tasks. Yes, yes. All that looks good. Mouse, yeah. Oh, yep. This reduces some of the default parameters for the UI will feel a lot more snappy. So like the delay when you click something, it reduces that a little bit. There's actually an artificial delay. People don't realize when you click the start menu, there's a delay that I guess they said people like this to appear after hovering for, it should be less than what they did. And it just makes things feel a little more snappy in my opinion. All right, there's that. Moving back to here. Keep focused. Got our file extensions. That should be a subroutine in here as well. Let's get that. I think that was up at the top here. Bloatware. We're getting files getting so big that we're losing some of this. Come down. Did we not have that in here? No, show file extensions. It's in miscellaneous tweaks. What is that? Tweaks.extension. So this is really what we need. Let's look for. All right, down. Oh, well, we're missing that. All right, so that's going to be miscellaneous tweaks extension. Grab that. Where are we at? I think we're close to the bottom. Yeah, that should be good. Moving on. All right, now we get to our service tweaks. This works so well. I've had so many people reduce their process counts in Windows, sometimes in half. Like it'll go from like 150 services to like 70, which is pretty darn sweet. Oh, and then we need to do, is that in the GUI? Yeah. Set time to UTC. I still don't know why Windows uses local time when Mac and Linux both use UTC because, they're not designed by morons. But Windows still uses local time. It drives me crazy. So if you dual boot, Windows is always 6 hours off because of that. And I'm like, ugh. It drives me crazy when Linux people set their system to not use UTC and they set it to local. And I'm like, no. You literally you made your Linux run like Windows. And that's blasphemy. Absolute blasphemy. All right, let's grab this. Copy. We're going to go to our services. Yeah. I'm going to definitely be checking out that issue thread, Sam. There's a lot of cool things that I see in the issue thread of the old one. I'm just getting like the meat and potatoes of this because that's another, I'd say that probably the benefit of running everything open source. Like some people are like, why don't you just charge money for this? And I'm like, one, I make a lot of money through YouTube, I think. Enough to where I can feed my family, let's say. I have like an 8-year-old car and some other stuff, but I don't need the flashy stuff. I don't feel right about charging for that. I get enough money from like YouTube views that it's fine. That, and I can also make an executable and say, hey, if you want to support the project and get an executable, here you go. But if you don't and you're broke, just use the PowerShell script. It's the same thing. It's all open source and free, but the huge benefit of leaving everything open source that no one really talks about, it's not so much the pull requests. I've had a lot more. If I had an option, I would remove pull requests almost completely, because there's been way more bad pull requests than good ones. But the big benefit is the issues. The issues on GitHub, I can flip through and you get such a clear picture of the user experience and different things that as I code and I forget stuff, I can look at that user issues and go, oh man, I'm such an idiot. Of course, laptop users power throttling messes it up. I grabbed all that because of a GitHub issue. So it's really neat to see everything kind of categorized in issues that are having with your program with GitHub desktop issues, which is really neat. I love that. But as far as like the pull requests and like some of the stuff, I'm like, like I said, I've had more problems from doing that than actually benefit in this project. Not to say every project. Like when you go to something that I don't really know much about, like when I did Titus. The Titus script's a great example of there's so many more skilled people in the world than me when it came to bash scripting and that, to where I kind of had an idea, I hacked together a script, and that made a lot more sense. But when it comes to modifying Windows and that, I have a level of mastery that very few in the world do, and a lot of the pull requests I got were just straight up bad. And it's because they just didn't have the knowledge to go, we can't modify that registry entry because it might negatively affect this program. And you just wouldn't know that unless you had a lot of experience. Where that's why I'm like, this next one, I'm going to really limit pull requests with this new iteration, because I wanted to keep it really, really clean. Anyways, enough rambling. Let's get our services done. This I don't need. Let's give this a good indent. Yeah, this is both Windows 10 and Windows 11. It's just a general debloat. I get that question often asked, but there's really not much foundational difference between the two. Let's see. All right, we're good here. Good there. Let's keep moving. UTC time. I think honestly on the UTC time, we could take a peek here. I need to look to make sure this result text doesn't get populated too, because I don't think I'm going to be using a result text in this new utility. All right, let's see. What are we doing for UTC? What's that object name? It's going to be miscellaneous tweaks UTC. All right, let's do that. Let's verify that that's in there. Yep. Okay. So we have UTC. I don't think we've done anything with the display for performance yet. Let's see if that's in here. I think that is inner debloat, numlock. We'll work on the essential undo. I almost kind of want to redo that. Background apps. I'm not going to touch background apps in this one either. It just screws up too much, and people can manually do that through settings. Reinstall, Windows Update. Yeah, we can design something in Windows Update next. All right. There's our performance FX. All right. Let's take that down. I kind of wanted that over, but whatever. And we're going to take this. This is just going to be our display. All this does, like, if anybody ever wants to do this manually, this is just a display of sysdm.cpl. You come into your advanced, go into performance. All this is the visual FX from here. So, like, if you say set for best performance, this would be pretty much the equivalent to doing that. So there's this tweaks display. I think that we're getting close to the end of the script. Appearance, we probably should readjust. We'll put this in the essential undo, which we have not done anything with yet. Let's grab that. And we're going to make this part of... This is going to be its whole new essential undo. And let's comment this. We're gonna switch this. I want this undo to be much more expansive than the last one. I've had a lot of reports be like, well, I hit undo all and it didn't do anything. And I want to make sure we go line by line and we have a full-blown undo. I also don't think I'm going to touch OneDrive. I have an idea of pulling in everything from OneDrive, everything from appwiz.cpl. We can interact directly with uninstall commands and populate everything using like a winget list. And maybe we could create our own uninstall in there as well, which would be kind of cool. All right. This is, we'll use this as a base for uninstall, but I want to go back through and double check. This is going to be a but. So, what was that called? I think it was just WPF undo all, wasn't it? Yeah. There it is. So we're just going to take that, add, click. Yeah. All right, let's see if there's anything funky in here. Wi-Fi sense enabled, application suggestions. I don't know why anyone would want that, but whatever. Location tracking. The idea is to put this back to Microsoft standards. Feedback. That looks pretty good. We'll expand on that too. We're ditching some extra stuff from this too. Not gonna touch search. Search is problematic at best. We'll interact more with the search service. All right. Yeah. That's good. Action Center, a lot of people run into issues with it. I'm gonna leave that off. Tray icons, clipboard history. We need to restore that. So, is clipboard even in here? Huh. So it does disable us clipboard history. All right. Location. Background apps, hibernation. Might just make a restore panel with line by line too. And this is going to be a whole section on its own. I'm going to expand this with like MMC and some other really nice tools that are kind of hidden from most users. Restore power. That's going to be a cool one. That's going to be its own section too. This is just adding virtualization, NFS, Windows Update fix. This is actually a script from TechNet. Fixes Windows Update on most systems. This was a disable of all Windows Update. Somebody requested that. I'll leave it in just because some people really hate Windows Update, but don't recommend anybody to run that. That's it. That's all of it. Okay. So now we've done that. Let's give it a run through. See what we get. Actually, we don't want it that big. See if I missed anything in chat. All right. So if we come into tweaks from the new system, this is a desktop system, so let's say we want all that. I think all that should be good. Let's run our tweaks. Oh, did I have something in there? Oh, well, let's see what it installs. Oh, no, I had Minecraft in there. Well, goodbye, Minecraft. Whiteboard. I used that for a hot minute. Oh, no, it's getting rid of Xbox, too. All right, we need to remove MS Store apps. We need to put that in miscellaneous tweaks. That's going to be a... I think we put it over there. That's going to piss too many people off. I hate restore points, but whatever. I will never uninstall Gen 2. I've already done it, Chris. So it's kind of pointless for me to install Gen 2 these days. Yeah, Gen 2 is not bad for like a kiosk machine or something that's real basic. But Gen 2 desktop users, no, that's just dumb. Like, you just have infinite time on your hands? I don't understand it. You don't understand the draw of that. Alrighty. Is this complete? I don't think it is. Ah, you know what? We should have set these to, after each run runs, at the end of it, it should uncheck the box, much like it does on our install script. So that's, because I don't know, is it finished? I think so, maybe? We need to fix that. Because, yeah, I just don't know. There's no, hey, finished kind of thing. Yeah, we'll have to take a peek. Numlock was the last thing that was enabled. Yeah, it was done. It was done. But we do need to uncheck these as we go through each deal. So that's easy to do. All right, tweaks button. So we'll just take essential tweaks. Yeah. All right. Yep. At the end here, we go through and we just do a false. Easy enough. And what this will do is, as it completes these, it'll uncheck them. Because of how PowerShell works when launching a GUI and building it like this, it's not going to update as it does every subroutine, but at the end it will. So that's fine. Deep load checked equals false. Then we got our DVR. Probably should do a write host on that, but it's gonna fly right past. It doesn't really matter. Oh, that's wrong. That should be a .eq. It's not running that subroutine at all. So that was actually, yeah, that was bad. That's why we review the code. False. All right, location services. Fix that. Yeah, if I had a 64 core CPU, I'd install Gen 2 because then there is no there's no compile time. I think the compile time's like 30 seconds or something ridiculous. I don't know if I'll ever have a 64 CPU. I know I'll never buy a 64 core CPU unless they're like crazy cheap. But right now I'm like, no, I'm not wasting my money on that. That's just ridiculous. Eventually I'm going to get a new graphics card. All my graphics cards are like 5 years old. So just like, I can't justify spending it on all those inflated prices. Tweak services. Here we go. We'll rerun this script after it's done. Double check this. I might break out that telemetry tweak a little bit more. I'll take a look at that more on the back end after stream, offline. Yeah, I'm trying to kind of hold out to see what happens with the next gen graphics cards. We'll see though. I was really tempted to grab a 6950, I think it is, or 6900 AMD GPU. They're down to MSRP again, and I'm like, ooh, maybe. But then I was like, I don't really need it right now. Getting close to the end of the script here. We'll rerun. Could just use hotkeys, but whatever. Still early in the morning. I'm still moving pretty slow. Oh, man. Did I get all that? Yeah, well. No. There it is. Beautiful. And then miscellaneous tweaks. Might do a poll on breaking out the undo all to maybe have like its own undo section, because I think a lot of people want to see each one of these, like if they accidentally enable something, undoing it, maybe just that one thing would be beneficial. I'm just afraid more that it might muck things up. I don't know. Kind of on the fence. Actually, this result text should not even be there. That's the old script. Is that all of it? Yeah. Let's do a result text. Oh, yeah, there is a lot of that. Okay. Let's get rid of that line. These should not be there. Clean up some of these. I'm removing this variable. This variable doesn't really exist, so this isn't really even doing anything. I guess I could leave it, but why? When you interact with the GUI after launch of PowerShell, it's just so irresponsive. It's just not very responsive, to where it's like the checkboxes will be the new status. So that's pretty good. So if we look at this now, let's say we're in here, go tweaks. Oops, let's bring that over a little bit. All right, so we'll do a desktop. Let's run it. Let's see what happens now. Shouldn't have any removal of apps. I already ripped out everything. Oh, we need to switch those apps over to miscellaneous tweaks too, as some people will not want that running. It shouldn't be a stock essential tweak. It causes many people to be like that, and it's done. Sweet. Yeah, that worked good. You saw how it unchecked everything. Let's run the laptop one now. Should should do much the same thing. Let's just go through each one of these, and then we can do an undo all, see what happens. There we go. It's all good. Worked exactly the same. And then let's do minimal. What's that look like? Perfect. Now let's undo all. Let's see what that looks like. Did that work? Looks like it. Oh, there he goes. Essential undo completed. All right. That seems pretty good. Let's redo our tweaks again, just because might as well. And then let's switch that MS store over to our miscellaneous section and make it not part of our recommended selections. He is removing all these Microsoft Store apps. I get more hate mail about that than anything else. Let's do that. Okay. So, pretty functional. So, we'll probably go Microsoft. I think that was under Essential Tweaks, wasn't it? The bloat. Telemetry. Yeah, here we go. Oh, no, those services. Where is... Ah, there it is. This is the debloat. We're going to come down to the bottom here. We're going to put it all the way down here. And I think there was also a checkbox we need to fix too. So, essential tweak debloat. Let's fix that in our GUI. So this is what the GUI looks like right now. Can I just... Yeah. Take that. I'm gonna take that and put it right there. That seems better. Now our spacing's a little messed up there with the run tweaks. Let's tweaks button. Probably like 10. Yeah. Shift that up a little. Much better. That should fix the GUI. Now let's flip back to our PS1 script. And we're just gonna grab all the XAML file we're converting, put that in there, and then on the click, the recommended quick clicks, we need to change that. So this is the first part. Here we go. Essential tweaks debloat. That should be false. Essential tweaks false. And that's already false. Okay, cool. So now, let's rerun our tool. Tweaks. Just noticing. This probably should be blown up a little bit because I keep doing this number. What does that look like? Oh, it's because of my scaling. I think I actually have scaling on here, so that's why. Oh, this is... What version am I on this system? 21H2. Gross. Alright. Yeah. 1080. Okay, that's fine. No, it's at 100% scaling. Is there any other scaling? Oh. That's right. I forgot I put that on a monitor. What does that look like? What is that? We got 786-533. All right. 786-533. All right. Ah, yeah. Much better. So this is just going to fix the launch command to where it's like not nasty. Actually, we didn't really change much. We don't need to grab the whole thing. Let's just grab the title. Ah, no. Black Worm. Thanks for the super chat, man. Let's see. Come on. There we go. Rip out restore point and install duplicity. I've never used that tool. What are you talking about, Black Worm? That sounds cool. I hate the restore points, so. New generation of cross-platform cloud backup tool. Huh. That looks cool. So there's licenses. Can only be installed on one. Huh. Interesting. So you got to pay for it, though. I think I was using something else. What was it was on my projects list. What was the other one I was thinking about doing? No, it's not in here. No, it was like what was it? I think it was, I think I have it in my guides. It wasn't there was a freeware tool or open source tool I was looking at for that. What was it? Yourbackup.org. Universal backup. That's what it was. It's like, man, I can't remember what it was. So this is the one I was thinking about, Black Worm. I think this was open source too. Yeah, your backup was another one to where you could use it on Windows, Linux, Mac, I think. Features. Yeah, Windows, Linux, FreeBSD. No Mac OS client though. But I want to say that the community edition was completely free and you kind of just do whatever it was. So you might look into this instead of the duplicity. But then again, I don't know. I haven't really used much, so I don't really have an opinion on that. All right. I think we're doing pretty good. So we have the install done. This is like night-night on steroids. We have our tweaks, which are pretty much done. So when we click this, you got that. Laptop, minimal. Does all the recommended settings. And then you can tweak it a little bit. The undo all, I might break this out into its own tab. Like, I can put as many tabs as I want here. Configs, I haven't really done anything with this. Maybe next week's stream or I'm going to work on this probably offline a bit and kind of fill this out with features. This would be like going into features through here, which most people don't even know where that's at. So let me, I usually pull up the old control panel, which is appwiz.cpl, and then turn Windows features on. And then usually from here, I wish I could blow that up a little bit, but you get the gist of it. I usually come in here and be like, hey, I need, like, for Hyper-V, you'd enable that. Services for NFS. These are like features all through here that you can enable on your system to really do some crazy stuff. So I'll probably add easy accessibility to Windows features. And some people that don't necessarily be able to drill down to this, because it's kind of hidden in Windows 11, it would be make it really nice. And then the old Windows sound panels. Keep hitting that hotkey. Like mmmsys.cpl is the big one. Like, Windows 11 has an awful, like, terrible sound setup to where whenever I'm on a Windows 10 system, I'm doing mmmsys.cpl like multiple times a day. Like, why they switched out of this sound panel into something that's just super janky is beyond me. Like, they even knew it too, because you have to hit advanced settings to get to this panel. They left the panel accessible through there, but now you have to kind of jump through hoops to get to it. But yeah, adding like old panels in there, lining all that up, which there's a lot of them. Another one that I use all the time. Windows 10, I do this, and Windows 11 is just coming in here to get the old network connections panel. Like, this is just so much better than the crap that Windows gives you now. There's so many just really useful Windows panels that I'm going to add into the config section. And then, of course, updates, which is just, you know, a easy dotted list of, hey, disabling updates completely if you're one of those people. That's fine. I don't recommend it. But setting everything to sane defaults, like using just system updates, and then kind of building that out. So really, these last two tabs, I think once I perfect these, we're gold. I'll publish it. Hopefully, I'm shooting for next week. The install tab, working great. If there's something that you guys want me to add to here, please let me know. Let me just know in chat right now. What am I missing in here that you want to see as that you use all the time on your Windows installs? Because I want to make this expansive. Like before, when it was all buttons in the old janky system, the old utility, you know, I kind of had to be selective of what I put in here. New system, man, I could add another column. We could really just go crazy here. Title. Ungoogled Chromium. Ooh, that's a good one. Let's see what we got. Can we launch into a new run as in Chromium? All right. Ooh, we got a couple different ones. There's this Chromium. Is there another one? There's Google Chrome. Ghost browser. I would think it's the Hibiki Chromium, or maybe Ungoogled Chromium. What do you guys think? Which one from Winget do you want me to put on here? I think this is the stock Googled Chromium, and this is Ungoogled. All right, Libre Wolf's another one. Let's start jotting this down. We'll start with the GUI. We'll start with the GUI section. All right. Let's just take this guy. Chromium. Ungoogled Chromium. All right. Ooh, okay. Let's see. Libre Wolf. Oh, Signal Messenger is another good one. All right. The other one was Libre Wolf was one. search Libre Wolf. What do we got? Libre Wolf. That's easy. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. Wolf. Oh, Spotify. How did I miss Spotify? That's a good one. I don't know if Spotify's even in GitHub, though. Let's see. Spotify. Well, Spotify is open source, I think, actually. Oh, yeah. It's there. Spotify. Let's add that. Oh, So, Spotify video image tools, maybe? I think we need to relabel this. Let's just call this multimedia. Multimedia. Spotify. Let's just grab this guy. Expand that. Spotify. I use MediaBee, I think is what I use. I think it's open source as well. How do I not have open? Oh, I don't have OBS? Dude, I am slacking. All right, Winget, search, OBS. Yeah, OBS Studio right here. Yep. Man, all right. So we got Spotify. Now we need to grab OBS. OBS Studio. Chocolatey. I could. You guys want? I could make that like in the utilities over here. We can do. Can we install Chocolatey with Winget? That's hilarious. I might just do it because that's hilarious. Chocolatey. You can. Oh, there's a chocolatey GUI. Or did I spell it wrong? It might just be Coco. Or Choco. No. That's it. Chocolatey GUI. ShareX is already on there. Let's see. What else we got? Bromite. I don't know what that one is. I don't think I've used Bromite. Oh, WinDIR stat's a big one. Yeah. Let's do that. Winget search WinDIR stat. I use WinDIR stat all the time in Windows. Yeah. Let's grab that one. We're gonna toss that over in our utilities section. Let's just grab this guy. WinDIR stat. That's gonna be the object name. And utilities, WinDIR stat. Tree size. You guys like tree size too? Let's see. We can do both. Like I said, we have infinite space now, and with the scaling, I'm not so concerned about a lot of the stuff. Tree size. Yeah, tree size is there. We can do tree size. Tree size free. Oh, that's a shareware program. Ah. I see what they did. They closed sourced it after a certain number. Okay. Anyways, we can toss that in here. I think we'll put the free version, right? So we'll do tree size free. That's fine. TCP optimizer. Yeah, Final Cut. Yeah, no. Can't use Final Cut on Windows. I wish. Kaspersky, I will never put on any of my stuff. I absolutely hate Kaspersky. I hope they all go die in a fire. Like, literally, I despise Kaspersky antivirus with every fiber of my being. Hate Kaspersky. Ugh. I would just erase it from this earth if I could. Ugh. All right. Sorry. It has really good detection rates, but man, the false positives and just the general annoyance of Kaspersky is enough to make me rage. Anyways, moving on. Slack. Oh, Slack's a big one. We need to have Slack in here. Slack. Yeah. Slack's there. So we need to add that. We'll put that. Slack's in the... we'll put it in the regular utilities over here. Slack. Oh, Steam's a big one. How did I not have Steam in here? That should be in the multimedia tools. I'm pretty sure that's on Winget too. Steam. Steam powered. Where you at? Nope, Valve Steam. There it is. Yep, Steam's a go. We'll put that in multimedia tools. Steam. Teams. No, I'm not installing Teams. Like, literally, Teams comes with every single Windows install by stock now. I guess I could put it there. I'm sorry. I'm overreacting. Zoom. Zoom's a big one. Like, everyone in the business realm uses Zoom. I don't know if that's on GitHub, though. Let's see. Does Zoom have an executable? It does. Zoom's a big one. Let's put that in multimedia. Multimedia tools. Zoom. Zoom video conference. All right. Is Discord not in here? Oh, man. I didn't realize we're missing Discord. Oops, messed up my margins. My bad. Discord. How do I not have Discord? No. Oh, no, Discord's over here. Yeah, Discord's already here. I was like, I'm pretty sure I had that. SVG viewer. Notepad++ is already there. Right there. Vivaldi. Oh, Vivaldi. I'm missing Vivaldi, aren't I? That's a good one. I still have a soft spot for Vivaldi in my heart, even though I don't use it. Vivaldi. Yeah, it's there. We can do Vivaldi for the browser. Oops. Vivaldi. All right. Everything search is already there. That's over here. Docker. That'd be a good one too. Let's see if MSI Afterburner's there. I use that all the time too. I think a lot of people do though. That'd be a good one. Let's just do Afterburner. No material. All right, let's try MSI for the search. I can't. Is MSI Afterburner even part of it? Yeah, MSI Afterburner is not part of Winget. I don't see that anywhere in here. So, oh, you know, CPU Z. We don't have that one. CPU Z. Some people like CPU Z. Let's add CPU Z. That's a good one. We'll put that in utilities. We'll put that over here. CPU Z. CPU-Z. All right. What's another one? Yeah, Docker. All right, Docker's a good one. Git actually gets combined. If you install VS Code, VS Codium, or GitHub Desktop, GitHub Desktop's over here, it'll install Git automatically. Because if you're doing that kind of programming, you should have Git. So it just installs Git when you install those other ones. It's more of a, it's not a dependency nest to say. It won't. Opera GX, no. I'm not any Opera. No, I'm not adding any Opera. It gets the Kaspersky treatment. You shouldn't use Opera. No, refuse it. All right, GPU Z. Let's add that. You get no Opera. Should shill it though. They pay YouTubers quite a bit of money to shill their GX crap browser. Definition of a sellout. Yeah, GPU Z. I think Linus even did a video making fun of Opera GX. It's kind of funny. All right, GPU Z. I've never even, I don't think I've ever even mentioned it online. I just was like, no, I'm not doing it. It's not my jam. All right, GPU Z. What else we got? QEMU on Windows kind of sucks. I'm not going to put that in there unless they do something better with it. Right now, I'd say Hyper-V is your way to go. Oh, Bitwarden, yeah. A lot of people love Bitwarden. I'm pretty sure that is in here. I don't use Bitwarden, but I know a lot of people do. Yeah, Bitwarden's in there. Let's do Bitwarden under Utilities. Utilities. We're going to put that right in here. Bitwarden. Let's see, what else? GIMP and Inkscape. I got GIMP. I don't have Inkscape, though. Let's add Inkscape. Pretty sure that's there. Inkscape. 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 Perfect. I don't think Malwarebytes is in there. It's too much of a shareware program. I don't think that's even in there. Let's see. I mean, I don't mind Malwarebytes for a scan, but I don't recommend using Malwarebytes on the daily. Yeah, Malwarebytes is there. We can put it in there. That's fine. I doubt I'll use it, but it's not bad for an initial scan. I just uninstall it after. Malwarebytes. Malwarebytes. Raspberry Pi imager. KeyPass. Oh, I need to get KeyPass there too. We did Bitwarden. Let's do KeyPass. KeyPass. Did I spell KeyPass right? Yeah. I did. Crystal Disk benchmark. Yeah, I like Crystal Disk. We can throw it in there too. All right, KeyPass. Let's just throw that in our utilities section. Utilities, KeyPass, Ooh, Tron script. I don't know if I can grab. I'll probably put Tron script in its own thing. Maybe we'll see. But yeah, I'll grab the other one as well. LimeWire Bear Share. I remember those. I made so much money off of those programs because everyone got infected back in the 2000 era, man. Dude. Thunderbird. Do people really use Thunderbird on Windows? I mean, we could. Audacity, though. Caden Live's a good one. I can put that in there, too. Let's do it. Audacity's a big one. For sure. What did I just add? KeyPass, right? Yeah, KeyPass. Yeah, Power Toys is already there. Let's do some imagers too. Rufus, a lot of people are asking for. I don't think Rufus is on Winget though. Rufus. It would be nice if it were. Oh no, it is. Holy crap. Nice. Yeah, Rufus is a big one. I got Etcher in there. But Rufus, I honestly, on Windows, I hate to admit this, but I like Rufus better than Etcher. I find myself, if I'm doing an image on Windows, that's what I'm using. Rufus and Rufus Imager. Team Viewer probably should add that. I hate Team Viewer, but we still use it all the time, don't we? Ugh. Yeah, I like Ventoy a lot. A lot better than Rufus. But Rufus is like a good, hey, I just want to toss an image on this thing and I'm in Windows. If I'm on Linux, I'm always using Ventoy. FileZilla. Do people still use FileZilla? I don't know. I always end up just using the stock file browser in Linux instead of FileZilla, but you know, to each his own. Remote NG. That's a solid one. I use the crap out of some remote NG. Let's see. Server, it's remote NG. Yeah, remote NG's there. Remote MG. Yeah. So, remote NG. Oops. I use caps. That's a big no-no. All right. Make my life difficult by naming stuff like that. Let's see. We gotta have the NV clean install. I did a video on that. What is that? I don't know if we can do NV clean install. I don't think that's... I don't know. It's there. I messed it up. All right. NV clean install is it's just named differently. Nice. NV clean install. NV clean install. I did it again. NV clean is the name of this object, and then we're gonna go NV clean. Is it just clean stall or is it clean install? Maybe it's clean stall. I just did it wrong. DDU. I don't know if DDU's here. Let's see. We got display driver uninstaller. No, DDU's a. I don't think that's it. Redux Clim UI. Yeah, I don't think that's it. Yeah, I already got ShareX. Light Shot, I don't think I've used. WinSCP actually installs with Putty. So if you're installing Putty, and that, I think I showed that in the... Where is that? Utilities. Putty and WinSCP, that's already there. Hey there. Hey, thanks for the super chat, Battery. Hey there. Remote desktop. Would you recommend that isn't TeamViewer and is free? Well, I mean, you could use like tight VNC battery. Not exactly the most secure thing in the world, but tight VNC is really easy to set up, completely free and open source. You can use a lot of other things. Oh man, did I not get Obsidian in here? But yes, that's what I'd recommend. But for remote, I mean, you could use AnyDesk. You could use... There's just not really that many good remote solutions that fit that TeamViewer niche. As much as we all hate TeamViewer, it's hard to find a really good competitor. There's some that are out there, but they have their own set of issues. Yeah, Obsidian's there. Gosh, how did I miss that in document tools? I use the crap out of my Obsidian. All right, document tools. That's what I love about live streams, though. We can just sit here and add every program, and this just becomes like so much better than Night Night. I keep doing that. Some people are still using Night Night, and I'm like, oh, well then. This is gonna be Night Night on steroids. All right, iTunes, no. And iTunes is definitely not in Git. Irfan View. We can do that. I think I use Image Glass. Yeah, Image Glass is usually what I use. It's a lot better than Irfan, I believe. All right, we could add TeamViewer and AnyDesk. Ugh. Hate both of them. All right, AnyDesk, TeamViewer. Let's add both. Ugh. Necessary evil sometimes, you know? All right, we'll do AnyDesk. AnyDesk. And TeamViewer. Can you make the wireless display enable? Windows 10 can't. Which wireless display are you using? Are you using the official Microsoft one, or are you using a different one? TeamViewer. Ah. Viewer. All right. ICQ and MIRC. Oh my gosh, are people still using those? Revo. A lot of people are asking for Revo. Okay. I didn't know that many people used Revo. Yeah, Revo's there. Revo uninstaller. All right, we'll add it. Revo. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, we need Handbrake. Yeah. Handbrake I still use every once in a great while. I'll be like, oh, I need to change this format. It's a good one. Nope. One more. Handbrake. Oh man, Wireshark's a good one. We need Wireshark. I use that every once in a while too. Yeah, yeah. Wireshark's there. Yeah, yeah. When I'm troubleshooting what's going out of a system, I do need me some Wireshark from time to time. Yeah, I got VLC already. I don't know what foobar is. Foobar 2000? Yeah, Visual C++ might do that. Visual Studio. I wonder, do we have... what would that be? Visual Studio, maybe? We could do like Visual Studio 2022. The preview. No, we probably could go 2019, huh? That would probably be the one to do. Probably do the community build of Visual Studio 2019. That would auto install all the DirectX and get that. I almost kind of want to make a new one. Oh well, put it on the right. Maybe like development tools and toss all the stuff over there. Maybe. Let's see. Visual Studio, we'll probably put... I mean... I think we'll probably put that in document tools. It's looking a little barren. Since we already got a whole bunch of Visual Studio stuff over there. Visual Studio. Visual Studio 2019 community. Let's see. All right. People are saying 2022 is what we do. It's still preview, but I'm using 2022, I think. Right? What am I using? Yeah, I'm using 2022. Yeah. NDI tools. That's pretty niche. SQL Server Management Studio. We could. Got MPC already. Media Player Classic's already in there. Make a balloon to add exception. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Tor. Oh, GreenShot. You know, GreenShot's a good screen sharing tool. A little more minimal than ShareX. Although GreenShot, I think, is closed. Is it closed source? Let's see. I used GreenShot for a bit there before I got ShareX. No, GreenShot's there. You know, I liked GreenShot. We're going to add it. I'm not going to use it, but somebody out there that maybe doesn't need everything ShareX offers. You know, the people running from snipping tool because it's getting sunset and just want really, really basic one. GreenShot, you know, it fits that niche or niche. GreenShot. What's Power Lasso? Flameshot's good for Linux. I don't think, is there a Flameshot in Windows? I don't think Flameshot's in Windows, is it? Oh, hell, it is. Oh, Flameshot would be good too. Maybe we add that. GreenShot, Flameshot. Let's put it next to each other. Let's just go screenshots. I love my Flameshot in Linux. I didn't even know Flameshot was in Windows. Although I still like ShareX better. Let's add it. Flameshot screenshots. All right. DirectX is going to be a dependency of Visual Studio and a lot of other things. I don't think... Let's take a look. Yeah, no, there's no installer for DirectX, I don't see. Game launchers, I do have Steam. I don't think Epic, is it Epic on here? Epic would be another one. Yeah, Epic Game Launcher's there too. Let's do Epic Game Launcher. Oh, we'll throw that. I think we put Steam over here too, didn't we? Oh no, we put Steam in multimedia. All right, Epic Games Launcher's in. Oh, GOG. I bet GOG's there. GOG is like all about open source. Oh, yeah. GOG. GOG Galaxy. Let's add it. I'll toss that. Oh, you know what? F comes before G, doesn't it? GOG. Let's go GOG Galaxy. Next week is when I'm going to publish all this. Origin's dead. They've moved everything back to Steam. Play Night. I don't even... What the hell is Play Night? I don't even know what that is. Video Game Library Manager. Looks cool. Link games from Steam, Epic, Origin, GOG, Battle.net. Oh. Does anybody use this? People from Windows says you don't need to configure MS services since sysmain handles the memory in an intelligent way. I've never seen that. At least from services being enabled. Why would you have services running in the background when you could not? Like, it's obviously when your memory fills up, it's going to cause a performance impact. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I'd say those guys don't know what they're talking about. Lasso. I don't know what Lasso is. Okay. Oh, Play Night's interesting. It's kind of... I'll have to look more into this because I've never used it. I don't want to just toss it in here. But it's interesting. Now, when you're talking about Lasso... What is that? Process Lasso. Alright. We'll just make a new tab. Process Lasso. It's interesting. I've never used this tool. So you install it. Why would you... Let's see what the Pro version gives you. So it's like 30 bucks. Whoa. Free versus home. All right. What do you get with Pro? CPU limiter. It's neat, but I'm probably going to leave this one off just because I don't really like including shareware crap. You know, I'm sure the free version gives you most of the stuff, but nah, I kind of like the fully open source free stuff for a lot of the tool stuff. Unless it's, there's just different ways to skin that cat, honestly. Like Process Explorer and some other things kind of does that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Smarf bag. That was my inclination about putting stuff in there like that. VPNs, I'm like, meh. Veracrypt, eh. Yeah, Veracrypt's good. Not to say it's not. It's just, it's kind of a really obscure stuff. Recovery software. Honestly, the really good stuff that I use is all paid, and I don't want to put it in here. Free download manager. I'm kind of out on download managers. There's a couple good ones out there, I'm sure, but kind of like it. KeyPass is already in there. I think we got most of the big stuff now, man. I just got to code all this. That's a lot to code. that's a good bit. We really expanded the install section here. Holy crap. I've seen Foobar 2000 a bunch in chat. I did not add it because I haven't used it. Foobar 2000. Huh. Advanced freeware audio player for the Windows. So I've been using for my music Bee, I think, but I kind of like the look of this better. Main window. Does it have like a small window? Nice visualization. Does it have a dock? That'd be cool. Whoa. That'd be a lot of components. Is there a dock in there? Let's see. Yeah, no dock. Maybe toolbar? Ah, there we go. This is just a search toolbar. Yeah. Foobar 2000. Okay, everybody's saying Foobar 2000. I think I gotta kick Music Bee to the curb and try out old Foobar. I think the thing that'll seal its fate is if we do a winget search. Foobar. Is it there? Foobar 2000, you're making the cut. Yes, sir. We'll just toss you right here. Foobar. Foobar 2000. Music player. A lot of people are asking, what is that, screen to GIF? Blender. Couple. Okay, a lot of people asking for Blender. I took a class on Blender. Can't say I remember much of it, but Blender's solid. I'll throw it in the media, multimedia tools. Sure. I want to encourage people to use Blender. Our future depends on it. Voice meter. Now, I've seen that one. I haven't personally used voice meter, but I've seen it used a bunch. Meter. Voice meter? Nah, voice meter's not here. Or is it with two E's? Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah. Voice meter's there. All right, we can add voice meter. Meter. All right, voice meter.
Audio, isn't that VSTs? I think it's on audio VST plugin. I'll just put audio. People don't care about that. All right. I don't know if SDI Origin's in here. Is it? You can get SDI. Oop. I don't think SDI Origin's in. SDIO? Nah. I don't think SDIO is actually submitted to Winget. Yeah, Bitwarden's already in there. Ear trumpet. Ear trumpet. What the hell is an ear trumpet? I gotta look that up. Finding all kinds of good programs from y'all today. Trumpet. Oops, spell it wrong. Well, that looks cool. Let's install it. Oops, no. We're gonna grab that. I'm curious to see what ear trumpet is. It looks cool as hell, though. Yeah, Putty and WinSCP is already there. Music. MOBA term, I don't think I have. Most terminal stuff I use Windows Terminal for. We could use Chocolatey and Scoop in this section. I think Chocolatey GUI's there. We get search Chocolatey and Winget search Scoop. I've used both. Yeah, Scoop's. What's this Winget? Is Scoop not there? Oh, that's cool. I like it. Yeah. Ear trumpet. You get it. Did I add that? Oh, I didn't. Multimedia tools. All right, multimedia tools is starting to get a little bloated. We're gonna cut it off. Oops. Oh yeah. I was gonna search for that. Wingstop. No. Install Scoop Winget. I think for Scoop and Chocolatey, I'm gonna do this. Although I don't know if we can actually. I think we would need to do an invoke expression and then go right here with it. And I don't know if that's gonna launch from it. Maybe. I'm going to look into Scoop and Chocolatey of adding that functionality because I don't know when you load up whether Scoop or Chocolatey, if you can. The problem is I don't know if you can do a nested PowerShell script from a download. So I'll look into it though, because I've used both Scoop and Chocolatey and both were very good. This is the bloat we need. Well, the nice thing is you can pick your bloat, right? Oh yeah. I think I was still doing ear trumpet. I don't think. Yeah. Nope. Ear trumpet was cool though. I gotta add ear trumpet. Audio. All right. Yeah, I already got CPU-Z, GPU-Z, HW info. Oh, man, we missing HW info. All right, I'm going to be spending the whole day adding all this crap. So we're going to cut it off. We're going to cut this off right here. All right. Yeah, YubiKey Authenticator's a little too niche. I like YubiKey, though. It's neat. Maybe I'll add it in the future. We'll see. I think this is the good base, though. My goodness. That install, though. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of tools. This is, like, I don't know. How many tools does Night Night have? I think we're just going to dwarf Night Night. I don't know. Night Night has a good bit. I might go through Night Night 2 and just see if there's anything else in here I might add that they don't. Looking through. Ugh, Skype. Yuck. There's certain things I'm not going to add from their stuff, but most of it is there already. But yeah, I might... They've added quite a bit. They've expanded this since last time I checked Night Night. Revo, WinDR. Yeah. That's cool though. There's a lot there. We can keep going with it though. We'll be more than Night Night for a lot of this stuff. Look at that. There's Foobar. There's Music B. That's cool. Yeah, I might just flip through here and just see if there's anything in Night Night that needs to be added, and then I'll have that and then some. So that's good. All right. Well, let's end this stream. It has been going for like 3 hours, so whew, long stream today. But you guys got a kind of a good gist of the new way of moving through some of this Windows script, some of the ideas I have, and now it's just kind of sitting down and coding it all. And we get it. Yeah, AnyDesk is in there. Sumatra's in there. We have pretty much anything from Winget, so yeah, 7-zip's in there. Yeah, I'll make sure, I'll go back through and make sure we have a little bit of everything, and from that we should be golden. Man, so I'll sit here, code the rest of that, and then work on those other tabs we didn't approach today, get it knocked out, hopefully get a video out next week about this is my goal. I'm going to probably do a teaser video tomorrow about it, and then just keep working on it throughout the weekend and early next week. So I might only do one video next week, depending on how fast I can code this all. We'll see. And I also do want to learn some C# and do an executable of it as well. We'll see how all that goes, and kind of get good things. Thank you everybody that did the feedback today and just said, hey, yeah, I need this program or that program. It kind of helped fill this program out to be a lot better than what it originally started out was, just a hacked together WinForm script that's just ugly, and it worked, but I was not very proud of it. Let's just say that much. I think it was a hacky solution to where this will be much more cohesive and just better overall. And yeah, that'll be it. So thank you guys. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.